This is my space. Kingdoms are clay. Our dungy soil feeds beast as man alike. The nobleness of life is to do thus. I'm feeling very theatrical today because my friend, neighbor, and customer Peter Donaldson is going to give me a backstage tour of the Stratford Festival, where he's starring in the title role of Antony in Antony and Cleopatra. He's going to deliver the very lines I just said, probably a little bit better than I did, about Antony's love for the countryside. After his performance, we're going to celebrate with a picnic on the Stratford Festival grounds with his wife Sheila McCarthy. We'll be having an organic rhubarb compote, organic creme fraiche sauce, shortcake, and strawberry sorbet. And so, I bid you adieu.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. To be an organic farmer or not to be, there is no question. Anon, it is the purest way to live.
Albeit backbreaking. Our farm is part of a larger community with a whole bunch of talented people growing crops organically and raising livestock. As organic farmers, we all try to live in balance with nature, getting the most from the land without chemical fertilizers or pesticides.
Rhubarb to me marks the transition from winter to summer perfectly. When the stored fruits of winter like apples and pears are finishing, rhubarb makes its appearance, followed shortly thereafter by another favorite of mine, strawberries. The two of these are often cooked together for jams and jellies and compotes like we're going to do today. Now rhubarb, you can even get a jump on the season by forcing it like narcissus bulbs. Bring it into a container in the house in a warm environment and it'll actually start growing. Get a fairly long season, they'll go right through the summer and into fall in some cases. So rhubarb's a good steady provider of delicious food for you. Strawberries, they start two basic varieties, ever-bearing and June-bearing varieties. June-bearing produces, coincidentally enough, in June, one big large crop, and ever-bearing, a smaller crop over repeated intervals throughout the summer. Organic strawberries are worth looking out for because, unlike conventional strawberries, there's no pesticides to keep the bugs off. Now, what to look for in a ripe strawberry? This ring of petals around the top is called a calyx, and it should be a nice bright green, vibrant color, obviously healthy looking. The strawberry itself should have a little bit of shine to it, and it should give slightly when pressed. That way you'll get the best possible flavor from it. That's summer in a bite. Organic dairy products. Now, what makes organic dairy products? Well, it has a lot to do with the feed that the cows eat. All of the feed that a cow eats on an organic farm has to be certified organic itself. So the corn, the soybeans, the supplements that they have to buy has to be certified organic. Good stuff.
What a piece of work is rhubarb. How noble in season.
Now, most everybody's got a friend or a neighbor that's got their own really well-established rhubarb plot, and that's the best place to get your starter stock for your own organic rhubarb patch. Failing that, seed companies do offer rhubarb plants. When you do find your friendly neighbor with a patch and you dig it up, I'll show you how to separate the roots out. Now, I would do this very early in the year when the rhubarb leaves are just starting to poke out of the ground, or very late in the year just before the plants go dormant. That way you're putting as little stress on the plants as possible. So, digging up our rhubarb plant here, those big healthy roots. Make sure you've got a shovel with a good sharp blade on it. Just make a clean slice right through it. You can see the roots there. This is going to form the basis for your own rhubarb patch. You can plant these in the garden about 3 feet apart. Give them lots of room. Okay, now we're ready to plant. Make sure the hole's good and deep. Good supply of compost. Can't put it on too thick with this because it's well rotted. It's not going to burn the plants. Mix it around. Put it at least as deep as the crown here, which is the surface where the stems come out of the soil. Okay, grab a hold of the leaves like this. Give them a nice firm tamp into the ground. And then don't pick the plants for the first year. Let them develop a nice big healthy root system so that they can carry through into the fall and overwinter without heaving out of the ground. Every once in a while rhubarb will start sending up a flower stalk, cut this off as well as soon as you see it, because it'll divert more of the plant's energy into producing what you want, these nice stems. All right, now that we've got those in the ground, I get to go and pick some for tonight's recipe. Rhubarb harvesting made easy. When they're nice and big like this, leave them on the plants. They're too big for us to eat. We want rhubarb stalks about the diameter of your pinky. Just grab them as close to the stalk as you can by the base and pull up straight, and they'll snap off right at the base. There, you want them like that, nice and tender. Remember not to eat the leaves of rhubarbs because they're slightly poisonous. Now that's some nice looking rhubarb here. Be great for tonight's dessert. I'm gonna go pick up some other ingredients for the creme fraiche sauce. Put these in the cooler.
But first, a little stop to check on a new friend.
This time of year, there's new life all over our farm, including this little kitten here. I think I'm gonna call her Cleopatra in honor of tonight's performance.
When we come back, I'll be getting the organic strawberries and organic milk for tonight's yummy dessert.
Behind me are a pair of parents. They are, in fact, my parents. Now, one may ask the question, why are they in this field in fits of back-breaking agony when they should be enjoying the salad days of their retirement years? The answer is, it's my farm, they're working on it, and they grounded me for a week when I was 16.
My parents help me out on the farm because they enjoy getting their hands dirty, and they love me, their organic prodigal son. I help out from time to time as well. That is, when I'm not out socializing and meeting people like Andy Megan, a local strawberry farmer who comes about as close as anyone I know to using organic methods. I hope to learn a few things from Andy about growing berries back at my own farm.
So you got great blossom set this year, huh?
Yeah, the rains certainly have done their job this year.
Now, how many years do you get out of a strawberry patch?
3 years. 3 pickings is what we plan for.
And then by the 4th year, the dandelions, the weeds start?
Yes, it starts to become a bit of a problem.
So now the weeds, the dandelions that we see here, they aren't necessarily a production problem,
No,
are they,
they're
with
not.
the strawberries?
No.
You still get strawberries out from around them?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, actually the dandelion itself, it doesn't take away from them at all.
I see.
It doesn't look as nice when you have dandelions growing in amongst the berries, but
Oh, that's a bit of color.
yeah, it would. Yeah.
Now the straw that you put around them, you're putting that on what time of the year do you?
In December, just
In December?
just prior to winter setting in.
Okay.
And that's basically, put it right
Right on top of them.
Put it right on top. Basically protects the crown from those cold winter winds.
What happens in the spring with that?
We rake it off the top, and we don't try to rake it off clean. You kind of want to leave some straw in the bed itself.
Yeah, it's a good mulch,
Yep.
eh? So Andy, tell me about how the strawberry actually comes to bear fruit.
The flower truss comes from the crown of the plant. It extends themselves up. These flower buds actually set last fall. That's why, the importance of covering the plants with straw in the wintertime. It protects that crown. It protects those potential flower buds.
And so potential fruit.
Potential fruit.
You know, Andy, I'm actually encouraged to see the odd dandelion in the row of strawberries because it shows me that you've still got an ecosystem thriving under here and you're living in harmony with what Mother Nature's throwing at you and working with it. It's a great looking operation you got here. All right, next we're going to transplant some strawberries at home on our farm, and then we're going to visit an organic dairy farm. The strawberries are one of those organic crops that needs a little bit more care and effort to produce a successful crop, but fortunately for the strawberries, they give you a huge flavor reward at the end of all your hard work.
Now, let's put what some of Andy taught me to work.
Now, strawberries like to live on hills. I use my Alice G to make the hills on the farm because they're a little bit longer, but at home you can use a shovel or a Chinese hoe to hill them up. Have about a hill 8 inches high and put them right on the top of the hill. The top of the plant here, this is called the crown, and you have to make sure that this is level with the top of the hill. If you plant it too deep, it's going to rot in the winter. If you plant it too high, the winter's going to grab hold of it and heave it out of the soil and kill it for you. The first year when you see flowers on your plants, pick the flowers off, and that diverts energy to the roots and the leaves. You want a nice healthy plant going into the fall, so the roots will help anchor it and prevent it from heaving during the frost. The second year is when you pick strawberry plants. Use an organic compost or well-rotted manure. Plant them in the row about 18 inches apart, and if you're really ambitious and you're going to grow 2 rows, put those rows 3 feet apart.
You know, if I had it my way, I'd be growing strawberries all over this place. You'd have strawberry fields forever.
Next, it's off to an organic dairy farm, then a visit to the props department at the Stratford Festival, and we'll make our strawberry rhubarb shortcake dessert.
A cow, my kingdom for a cow.
This is a bit of a trip down memory lane for me. I was a dairy farmer years ago, and today I'm on the farm of Steve and Ann Johnson family. They're organic dairy farmers, and they're going to show me how we're going to milk cows and get some organic milk from field to table today. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Anthony.
Hey, Ann.
Hi.
How are you?
Welcome.
Hey, kids. I'm going to be a little bit rusty with milking, so I need you guys to show me how to do it, all right?
Well, I think some of them know how here, so we can maybe refresh your memory and let's get at it.
This takes me back to the days when I helped my father-in-law Joe on his dairy farm. What surprised me the most about this organic operation is how well behaved these ladies were at milking time. The milk from here goes to a pasteurizing plant before we can use it in our dessert tonight.
This is an automatic takeoff machine. When the cow finishes giving milk, the milker senses that and takes it off the cow automatically. She's done. Flashing light says that's it.
Organic dairy cattle must feed on certified organic feed, such as alfalfa and wheatgrass. Consequently, organic cattle have more energy and move a lot faster.
Now is the meal of our content.
I've got my produce with me so that after my tour of the Stratford Festival, I can stage a fine dessert to enjoy after Peter's performance. The Stratford Festival is one of the top theaters in the world, and Peter Donaldson, one of its finest actors.
Pete Donaldson was a neighbor of mine at one time. He's a great customer. He's been a customer of ours for years. And now I get to see where he works at the Stratford Festival. He's going to give me a backstage tour. All right, let's go.
Here we go. Down, down like glistering phaeton into the underworld.
Into the crypt.
This is where the real art happens down here.
Oh, look at that.
So, this is the prop shop. Wow. This is like Action Central in the Festival Theater. This and the wardrobe are the most important places. The theater is designed for just costumes and props. We've moved on from there in the recent years with a lot of sets, but basically the original idea was that the stage was best shown simply with costume and props. So this is where all the props are made, and these people down here are absolutely brilliant.
Geniuses.
So the good people here in the prop shop have set up a little luncheon for you,
A
Anthony.
buffet.
Yeah, that's right.
That looks great.
Isn't this amazing?
It is, it really is. I love the string spaghetti here. Look at that. It's amazing how realistic they make this stuff look.
The spongy toast.
Oh yeah,
is
the
very nice.
Buick 68 foam toast. That's nice.
Look, something looks a little familiar to you there?
My salad greens, look at that. Even in a Ziploc bag. You know, you just can't get that fresh rubber smell anywhere else but the Stratford Festival Screens department. Well, let's talk to the people who put this together.
This is the start of your lettuce
My
mix.
mesclun mix.
The mesclun mix. It's more romaine than iceberg. And it's latex with pigment. Just
Using
you
acrylic
have to-
colors?
I use acrylic, yeah. And when it's cured, it'll come off the plaster plate.
How long does it take to cure?
Maybe half an hour.
Oh, not
3/4.
long. Wow.
No. Well, because it's fairly thin.
I think I've got a few chefs that are going to love the little surprise I have in store for them. Let's see what we got next.
I'd like to show you a little trophy I collected in the woods behind my farm.
Methinks I smell the fair waftings of a meal at hand. It's time for Peter to go on stage and for me to perform in the kitchen with the dessert queen of Bijou.
I love cooking with food that's in season, and I love cooking with beautiful women even better. Today I've got the best of both worlds. With me is Bronwyn Lindley from Bijou Restaurant in Stratford, and she's going to be making a dish that's in season when the Stratford Festival's open. It's a strawberry sorbet with rhubarb and citrus compote and shortcake and a creme fraiche sauce. I think I got that all, didn't I?
You got it all?
All right, Bronwyn, why don't you tell me about this rhubarb citrus compote here?
Okay, we're going to start by dicing the rhubarb. Rhubarb cooks very, very quickly and can overcook very quickly. We're going to keep it at a simmer for a very short time, just about a minute. So we're actually going to cook this in some white wine and some sugar. And that's all we're going to do.
Okay.
Just to make a light syrup. You just want to cook this until the sugar is dissolved. And as soon as that's up, then you can add your rhubarb.
Okay.
We've used nice small stalks of rhubarb. The bigger they are, they're tough, the flavor's not as good.
Right.
You also want to retain this beautiful color. I mean, it's a lovely pink color. So rhubarb turns sort of a gray green if it's overcooked.
Yeah,
and you'll end up with a rhubarb mush or rhubarb soup.
So where does the citrus part come into this?
So we're just going to segment the citrus, and we're going to add it in after the rhubarb is cooked and cooled. You just want the segments of the fruit without any of the pith or the membranes that are in the middle.
Well, nothing pitheth me off more than too much pith in my citrus, I can tell you that.
Absolutely, that's something you don't want. So as soon as you have that off, you just want to go between the membranes.
Right.
And just slice it, and it should come right out. And you can use any kind of citrus with this. I've used some red grapefruit today, just for color, but you could use blood orange if the season was right and it was in the same season as rhubarb.
Yep.
That would be ideal, but...
Now, all of these are fruits that you can get very readily at organic grocery stores.
Absolutely. And that's the way I like to use citrus.
Yeah, especially stuff that anything you're cooking with the skin on, like if you're making marmalade or something, it's really important to get organic
Absolutely.
fruit.
So I think this rhubarb is probably there. We're going to take it off and we're going to pour it into a bowl with the liquid and let it cool in the liquid. And you can already see, look how lovely
Oh, it's beautiful. Pink
the color
That's
is.
great.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to cool it in the fridge in the liquid.
Okay.
And all we want to do now is do a mint chiffonade. So you want to take some nice fresh mint leaves, lay them on top of each other, and then we're going to roll them up.
Oh, cool. I knew there's a trick to that.
And with a sharp knife, you just want to cut very, very thin strips. And this
I'd be missing fingernails.
Once the rhubarb syrup has cooled, you can strain it, add the citrus, and finally the mint, only at the last minute so it doesn't turn
You always want
black.
to add a mint.
Boy, you're getting a really nice blast of mint in there.
It's great.
now, yeah.
To start the creme fraiche sauce, you'll need a vanilla bean.
Very good.
And we're going to use the pod as well until we remove it later. Scrape the inside, and then you're getting the vanilla beans in there. So we'll take it back over to the stove, and we're going to pour in some 35% cream.
Right.
And
That's
a little bit
cream
of
from
sugar.
our friends at Harmony Organic
We
Dairy.
want to bring that to a boil. So that's come to the boil. We want to pull this off at this point. We're going to add just a little bit of lemon juice, just for flavor. Okay, so we're going to add in some sour cream or creme fraiche. And at this point, you would want to keep the sauce warm,
But not bubbling.
not bubbling. And you just want to take the pod out, and you're ready to go.
Ready to go. Well, it looks gorgeous.
Great, so I think we are ready to plate.
Okay. Go and grab yourself a glass of wine. When you come back, we'll finish off this dish with this dish. All right, now we're going to put this together in what looks like it's going to be a fantastic dessert. Bronwyn, why don't you give me the finishing touches here?
I think so. So we need to slice one of these shortcakes. So if you can choose a good one.
This looks like the pick of the litter.
Perfect.
What's the difference between shortcake and shortbread?
This is shortcake, so there's something in here to leaven it, to make it rise. So there's a little bit of baking powder, some baking soda in here, just to bring it up a little bit.
Okay.
And we're going to put the sauce on the plate first, but we want to dust the top with some icing sugar.
Okay.
So that's ready to go. I want to bring this over, and we're ready to spoon some of our sauce onto the plate.
Really nice and velvety.
And I like to put it right into the center of the plate.
Oh yeah.
So not very much, and then just use the back of the spoon. Then the bottom of the shortcake right on top.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we're gonna get our compote here and put it on.
Wow, look at the color on that.
It's great. The mint is nice and green. You can see the different colors of the citrus. So you're really getting, everything has its individual flavor, but it's really working together.
Yeah.
And then we'll add some strawberry sorbet. So if you want to grab that, we've quenelled it ahead of time. And put it right on top of the rhubarb. Rhubarb and strawberry, a classic
Gorgeous.
combination.
Beautiful.
So you can just put the top of the shortcake on. Be very careful when you take it to the table.
Right.
And you can garnish it with mint, but I think the mint inside is sufficient. So there we go, it's all together, and I think it's a great taste of spring all on one plate.
Well, it looks gorgeous. Thanks, Bronwyn.
My pleasure.
Good work, love.
Back in Stratford, dessert in hand, we took in Peter Donaldson's masterful performance in Antony and Cleopatra.
This is my space. Kingdoms are clay. Our dungy earth alike feeds beast as man. The nobleness of life is to do thus.
What better way to reward the Roman Antony and his wife Sheila McCarthy than with the organic fruits of the land?
That's delicious. Wow.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, that is wonderful.
You guys eat like this every night, of course.
Yeah. We're thinking of putting in a takeout window at the farm.
Acting Shakespeare and organic farming are a lot alike. Both require huge amounts of work to get it right. It was fun to take a peek in Peter's world for a day, but ultimately, I think I should stick to farming.
And so, fair patrons, our show must draw to an end. 'Tis time for me to leave and tend my fair daisies and dandelions in the fields, toiling away. For no ghost need come from the grave to tell me this. The rest is silence. I'm Antony John, the Manic Organic. Until next time, a man outstanding on the stage.
Bravo! Author! Author! All right, get out of here.